What if the saddest moment in Heartland was never real? What if Ty Borden didn't die, but was erased on purpose? Tonight we go back to the day Heartland lost Ty and uncover the cracks in the story no one wanted us to see. The day Ty Borden was declared dead is remembered as one of the darkest moments in Heartland history. Everything happened fast, too fast. One moment, Ty was fighting for his life. The next, the world was told he was gone. There was no long goodbye, no final words. It's just silence, shock, and grief that hit Amy like a storm she never saw coming. And yet, when we look back now, something feels wrong about that day. Ty was a survivor. He had faced danger before. He had beaten the odds more times than anyone could count. So why was his end so sudden? The doctors spoke in calm voices, but their answers felt short. Details were missing. Important questions were never asked on screen. And Amy, who always sensed when a horse was hurting, was never given the chance to truly sense Ty one last time. Then there was the funeral. A closed casket. No final look. No moment for Amy to touch his hand, to feel that truth with her own. Heartland rushed forward, as if pushed by something unseen. Grief had no time to breathe. Everyone accepted the loss because they were told they had to. But think about this, Ty was a vet. He knew medicine. He knew trauma. If anyone would understand how close life and death can be, it was him. So why were his injuries explained in such simple terms? Why did the reports feel clean, almost prepared? And then there was the silence. After. No detailed investigation, no follow-up. Just a quiet agreement to move on. As if asking questions would open wounds someone didn't want reopened. Amy felt it. She didn't say it out loud, but something inside her never settled. The pain was real, yes, but so was the doubt. A small voice whispering that the story she was given was not complete, because sometimes the biggest lie isn't told with words. It's told by what's missing. And on the day Ty Borden died, too much was missing for it to be the whole truth. Ty Borden didn't just face death. He faced a choice that no one should ever have to make. Live and lose everything he loved, or disappear, and protect the people who meant the most to him. What forced that choice was something far darker than an accident. It's far more dangerous than anyone at Heartland ever knew. In the days before the explosion, Ty had been involved in something serious. It wasn't just medical work. It wasn't just helping animals. He had seen things he wasn't supposed to see. People who operated in silence. People who didn't forgive mistakes. When Ty tried to do the right thing, he crossed a line that couldn't be uncrossed. The warning came quietly. Not a threat shouted out loud, but a message meant to scare him into obedience. Ty understood it instantly. If he stayed visible, Amy and Lyndy would become targets. Heartland would no longer be safe. The danger wouldn't stop at him, it would spread. That's when the plan was born. Not in a boardroom, not with power or control, but in a hospital room, whispered between doctors who owed Ty their lives, and contacts who knew how to erase a man without leaving a trace. The explosion gave them the cover they needed. A moment of chaos. A moment where death was expected. Ty survived. But survival came with a cost. His name, his life, his place beside Amy. Choosing to vanish was harder than dying. He knew Amy would break. He knew Lyndy would grow up without him. But he also knew one thing for sure: if he stayed, they might not live at all. So Ty let the world believe he was gone, not because he was weak, but because he loved too deeply to risk their lives. And while Heartland mourned him, Ty walked away into the shadows alive, watching, waiting, carrying a secret that would tear open the truth. When it finally came out, Ty Borden did not disappear alone. A lie this big could not survive without help. Somewhere between the hospital room and the closed casket, a small group of people chose silence over truth in that. Silence changed everything. There was a doctor who looked at Ty's injuries and knew the line between life and death was not crossed yet. That doctor didn't speak much afterward. No interviews, no public grief, just quiet cooperation. Medical papers were signed, times were adjusted. A death was recorded before it fully happened. On paper, Ty was gone. In reality, he was breathing. Then there was a contact outside Heartland. Someone who understood how to erase a man without leaving fingerprints. Travel records vanished. Phone signals went dark. Ty's name stopped moving through systems that tracked the living. It wasn't magic. It was planning. But the most painful part wasn't the paperwork. It was the people who had to look Amy in the eyes and lie. At least one person at Heartland knew. Someone close enough to feel the weight of the secret every day. Every time Amy cried, every time Lyndy asked questions, that person carried guilt like a wound that never healed. They couldn't speak. Not because they didn't want to, but because if the truth slipped out, Ty's sacrifice would be for nothing. There were moments when the secret almost broke free. A pause too long in a conversation. A look that lingered when Ty's name was spoken. Amy felt it. She noticed how some people avoided details. How certain stories never lined up the same way twice. But grief makes people forgive strange behavior. Pain makes silence seem normal. Meanwhile, Ty watched from a distance. He saw Amy learning to live without him. Saw Lyndy growing taller, older, farther away from the man who should have been there. Every step he stayed hidden was another cut. To his own heart, the people who knew the truth were not villains. They were prisoners of it. Because knowing Ty was alive meant choosing to let Amy believe he was dead. And that choice haunted them every single day. Ty Borden may have vanished from sight, but he never vanished from Heartland. Some bonds are too deep to be cut clean. And long after the world believed he was gone, signs began to appear, quiet, easy to miss, but impossible to ignore once you truly looked at them. The horses were the first clue. Animals sense truth in ways people can't. A nervous horse calming suddenly. A familiar routine followed without being taught. Amy noticed it more than anyone. Certain horses reacted as if they recognized a presence they shouldn't, as if someone they trusted was near, even when no one else was around. Then there were the small things. Tools left exactly where Ty always kept them. Gates fixed in the same careful way only he used. Medical notes written in a style Amy had seen for years. At first, she blamed memory. Grief plays tricks on the mind. But the patterns kept repeating, too perfect to be chance. Sometimes Amy felt watched not in fear, but in comfort. Like someone standing guard from far away. On long evenings, when the wind moved through the fields just right, she swore she could feel Ty's presence, steady and calm, telling her without words that she was not alone. A carved mark on a fence post, a symbol drawn where no stranger would think to leave it. Signs only Ty and Amy shared from years ago. Things no one else would remember. Things no one else would understand. Each clue alone meant nothing. Together they formed a question Amy was afraid to ask. Was she holding on to a ghost? Or was Ty still out there watching Heartland from the shadows? The truth was circling. Closer, and every sign Ty left behind was not a mistake. It was a promise. A promise that death had not won. Grief teaches you how to survive, but it also teaches you how to forget. Amy spent years forcing herself to move forward because looking back hurt too much. But once the signs began to pile up, forgetting became impossible. The past didn't stay buried. It started knocking. It began with memories that refused to stay quiet. Details Amy had pushed aside suddenly returned with sharp clarity. The way Ty looked at her the last time they spoke. The words he almost said, but didn't. The promise in his eyes that felt unfinished. At the time, she thought it was goodbye. Now it felt like something else. Amy started retracing moments from that day. Conversations that ended too fast. Answers that felt prepared. The way everyone told her to rest, to stop asking questions, to accept what she couldn't change. That pressure didn't feel like comfort. Anymore, it felt like fear of what she might discover if she kept digging. Her heart battled her mind. Hope was dangerous. Hope could break her all over again. But ignoring it felt worse. Because deep down, Amy knew one truth she had never said out loud. If Ty was truly gone, she would have felt it.
Ow.
The bond they shared was never silent. Not like this. There were nights Amy stood outside, staring into the dark, whispering his name like a test. And every time, Something inside her answered back. Not words, not proof, just certainty. But the closer Amy came to the truth, the farther Ty pulled away. He saw her searching, felt her calling, and still he stayed hidden. Because if Amy found him too soon, everything he sacrificed would fall apart. Hope brought Amy closer to healing, and closer to the truth that could shatter her world all over again. Secrets can survive for a long time, but they can't survive forever. What finally pushed Ty's secret toward the surface wasn't a confession or a mistake. It was a moment that could no longer be controlled. The danger Ty thought he escaped began to move again. Old names resurfaced. Quiet warnings returned. The same shadow that forced him to disappear now threatened to reach Heartland itself. And for the first time since he vanished, hiding was no longer enough. Amy felt the shift before anyone told her. The air around Heartland changed. Horses grew restless. People grew cautious. Familiar tension settled in her chest, the same feeling she used to get when Ty was nearby and trouble wasn't far behind. Then came the moment that cracked. Everything opened. A stranger arrived, asking questions only Ty would know how to answer. Questions about cases, about decisions, about things buried with him. The past had found a voice, and it was looking for Ty Borden. That's when the choice returned harder than before. Stay hidden and let Heartland face danger alone, or step back into the light and risk everything. Ty watched from the edge, torn between fear and love. Amy was strong, but she shouldn't have to face this without him. Lyndy deserved to know her father wasn't just a memory. Heartland needed the man who had always fought for it. The truth was pressing in from all sides, and once the lie began to crack, there was no way to stop what came next. The moment Ty Borden steps back into Heartland, nothing will be the same. Years of grief, pain, and unanswered questions come rushing to the surface. Amy will feel the weight of every lost day, every tear, shed in silence, and every memory built around a lie. The reunion is not just emotional, it's explosive. Every glance, every word, every touch carries the tension of years apart and the burden of the secret he carried. Lyndy will face the shock of seeing her father alive, a man she thought she'd only known through stories and memories. Heartland itself will shift. The farm, the horses, the people, all touched by a presence they thought had vanished forever. Ty's return forces everyone to confront the consequences of the lies they were told and the sacrifices made to protect them. But it's not just about happiness. There will be conflict. Trust has been tested, and rebuilding it won't be easy. Some will feel betrayed, others relieved, and a few may never forgive the secrecy. Ty's choice to stay hidden was made to protect, yet the fallout is unavoidable. Tension between love, loyalty, and the painful truth will drive the story forward, setting up the drama for the episodes to come. And through it all, one question lingers. Could Ty have returned sooner? Could the lies have been avoided? Or was this carefully orchestrated disappearance always meant to teach Heartland a lesson about love, sacrifice, and survival? As Ty walks back into the life he never truly left, viewers are left with a mix of relief and suspense. Heartland may never be the same, but one thing is certain. The man who was thought lost forever is back. The story of his death will haunt the town and the audience for a long time. The stage is set. Secrets have been revealed. Hearts have been tested. And for Heartland, the real story is just beginning.